मेरी आवाज आ रही है आप लोगों को?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, आ रही है प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण, थैंक यू मच। ओके,
हरे कृष्णा
so
प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण। So welcome back everyone for Bhagavad Gita class. Now we are resuming, and hopefully we'll have a visitor day. So do you remember which sloka you read last time? Anyone?
It was from, I think, 15. 9:15. Chapter 9:15.
15 sloka. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, we'll start then. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhara
श्री
Shri
श्वेत गदाधर
Gadadhara
Sri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Vashadi Gauravrinda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare.
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
All right, so we'll continue reading from chapter 9, text number 15. We go to, I am going to 9, breaking 11. Okay. 9, chapter 9, slok 15, text 15. ज्ञान यज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चापन्ये
यजन्तो मामुपासते
भजन्तु मामुपासते
एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन
ऐक्यत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन
बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
बहुधा वैश्वतो मुखम्.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Others who engage in sacrifice by cultivation of knowledge worship the Lord as the one without second, as diverse in many and in universal form. Purport. This verse is a summary of previous verse. The Lord tells Arjuna that those who purely in Krishna consciousness and do not know anything other than Krishna is called Mahatma. Yet there are other persons who are not exactly in position of Mahatma but who worship Krishna also in different ways. Some of them have already been discussed as distressed, the financially destitute, the inquisitive, and those who are engaged in cultivation of knowledge. But there are others who are still lower, and these are divided into he who worships himself as one with Supreme, he who has concocted some of the Supreme Lord and worship that, and third, he who accepts universal form, Vishwarupa of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worship that. Out of above three, the lowest, those who worship themselves as Supreme Lord, thinking themselves to be monist, are most prominent. Such people think themselves to be Supreme Lord, and in this mentality, they worship themselves. This is also a type of God worship, for they can understand that they are not the material body, but are actually spirit soul. At least such a sense is prominent. Generally, the impersonalists worship the Supreme Lord in this way. The second class include worshipper of demigod, those who by imagination consider any form to be the form of Supreme Lord. And the third class include those who cannot convince of anything beyond the manifestation of this material universe. They consider the universe to be the supreme organism or entity and worship that. The universe is also a form of the Lord. Hare Krishna. मज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुपूर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागरललितां तं श्रीजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान श्री गणललिता श्री विशाखान्ताश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद् गोपालकृष्ण गोस्वामी नित्यनामिने प्रभुपादस्य साहित्यं या प्रकाशवितीर्य प्रचारं कृतवान् साधु भगवत्पादाय ते नमः नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सारस्वतदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So here this sloka, if you this is ninth chapter called most confidential knowledge, and Krishna is telling that I'm giving you this most confidential knowledge, and in which the discussion is going on around different type of people who worship God. So Krishna is explaining that there are two class of people in the world. The first class of people is called demonic, those who don't have belief in God or who act against the God. And there are people who believe in God or they follow the laws of the set by the God in Vedic literature. So what is the situation or a condition for these people? The demonic class of people, they are deluded and their hope for liberation, fruitive activities and culture of knowledge is defeated. Krishna is saying here. First it starts with this, the 9-11, avajananti mam mudha manashita nimasrita param bhavam ajananto mam bhute maheshwaram. That first of all Krishna says that these class of people who are asuras, they deride Krishna and say that he is one of the human. Krishna is one of the human. Because they do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. Param bhavam ajananto mam bhuta maheshwaram. So that's the situation. That these class of people consider Krishna as a human being. And because they consider Krishna as a human being, they cannot accept what Krishna is saying, because why do I listen to another human being? And then those who are thus bewildered. So what happens to these people? Attracted by demonic and atheistic view, in that deluded condition, they have no hope. They don't have hope for liberation. They are not happy with what result they get from their activities. And the knowledge they have is all defeated. So then there is a second class of people, the theistic, or son of Partha, those who are not deluded. Krishna is saying, Mahatma nastu mam Partha daivi prakriti masrita bhajante ananya manasho gyatva bhutadim abhyayam. Ocean of Partha, those who are not deluded, the great soul, are under the protection of my divine energy. So, Daivi Prakritim Asrita, they are under the divine energy of Krishna, which means they are devotee of Krishna. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. original and inexhaustible. So there is second class of people. So what happens to them? What they do? So that's the sloka 14, just before what we read. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dranhavrata namastasya cha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. So satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dranhavrata namastasya mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me. So what they do? They chant the glories of Krishna. And the best way to chant glories of Krishna is chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So they chant the glories of Krishna always. It's not like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. They try to chant maximum. Enduring with great determination. So they have to endure. They have to do with great determination because there is always difficulty. People will not allow to chant you. They will not allow to do chanting. And then what they do, they bow you down before me, Krishna is saying. So they pray to Krishna. They worship Krishna. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So they will continually keep on doing with devotion. So this sloka was others who engage in sacrifice by cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as one without second, as diverse in many and in universal form. So within people who are theistic or those who believe in God, there are classification. One is deities, which is Davi Prakritim Asrita. So they are under divine energy, they are deities. But there are other class who believe in God but different ways. And Srila Prabhupada is explaining they can be divided into three categories. Those who don't believe in Krishna. So what they believe in? They consider themselves as the Supreme Lord. They think that they are God. These are monist people. They believe in soul, but they don't believe in any kind of God. They think they are God. The second class in that category is they concoct some type of God. They think everything is God. This demigod, that demigod, every demigod is a god. Every devata is a god. They think like that. And third class of people that they don't believe in both of these. They don't think they are Supreme Lord. They don't believe in that there is another type of Supreme Lord. They think that this whole cosmic manifestation is God. So Vishwarupa, universal form, they consider that as a God and worship that. So none of this is valid, right? Because in either of condition, ultimately they will not reach to Krishna. So therefore, Prabhupada is saying here that if you classify, you categorize or rank these three class of people, the first class mulas are those believe that they are God. Second class is those believe who think that every devata is God. And third class is that universal form of the God, right? So third class is better, that at least they can think that there is Supreme Lord, which has universal form. But other two class is think that they are God or some devatas are God is no hope, because they will finish with their body, and then they will not have anywhere to go because they think they are God. So okay, then stay in this material world, or you believe on some devata is God, then go to that Yanti Deva Vrta Devan, right? Pitri Yant Pita. So you go to demigods, but then when demigods finish at the end of this cosmic manifestation, then you come back here. Okay. So that's the understanding, and we'll continue 1916. 916, who wants to read this one? Anjumati, want to read? And unmute. Mantri. Okay, let me send you notification. You click on that notification which you may be getting. Okay, well, see. Oh, yeah, you're muted now. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Aham pratur aham yajnah swadhanam aham ashwadham mantroham aham ajvayam aham agnir aham tam. Translation: but is I who am I the ritual. I sacrifice the offering to the ancestor, the healing herb, and the transistor chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. Purport: the Vedic sacrifice known as Jyotisma is also Krishna, and he is also the Mahayajna mentioned in the Smriti. The oblation offered to the Pitraloka or the sacrifice performed to please the Pitraloka considered as a kind of drug in the form of clarified butter is also Krishna. The mantras chanted in the connection are also Krishna and many other commodities made with milk product for offering in the sacrifice are also Krishna. The fire is also Krishna because fire is one of the five material elements and is therefore claimed as the separated energy of Krishna. In the other words, the Vedic sacrifice recommended in the Krishna Kanda division of the Vedas as Vedas are in total also Krishna, or the other word, those who are engaged in rendering devotional service unto Krishna are to be understood to have performed all the sacrifice recommended in the Vedas.
Can you read the next one, Mataji?
Can I read it, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, next.
Okay. Aham asya jagato mata dhata pitamaha द्रव्यं पवित्रम ओंकारा ऋक् समा यजुर इवका. Translation: I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the label Om. I am also the RJ of Sama and the Yajurveda. The entire cosmic manifestation, moving and non-moving, are manifested by different activities of Krishna energy. In the material existence, we create different relationships with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy under the creation of Prakriti. Some of them appear as our father, mother, grandfather, creator, etc. But actually, they are part and parcel of Krishna. As such, these living entities who appear to be our father, mother, etc., are nothing but Krishna. In this verse, the word Dhata means creator. Not only are our father and mother part and the parcel of Krishna, but the creator, grandmother, and grandfather, etc., are also Krishna. Actually, any living entity begin part and the parcel of Krishna is Krishna. All the Vedas therefore aim only towards Krishna. Whatever we want to know through the Vedas is but a progressive step towards understanding Krishna, that subject matter which help us purify our constitutional position is especially Krishna. Similarly, the living entity who is inquisitive to understand all Vedic principles is also part and parcel of Krishna, and such is also Krishna. In all the Vedic mantras, the word Om, called Pranava, is a transcendental sound vibration and is also Krishna, and because in all the hymns of the four Vedas, Sama, Yajur, Rag or Atharva, the Pranava or Omkara is very prominent. It is understood to be Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Krishna said that in previous, in that sloka, that there are class of people who believe in universal form. So now Krishna is explaining how everything belongs to Krishna. So in the previous to this sloka, we read Aham Krita Karum Yagyam. So people perform yajna. So Krishna is explaining that I am ritual, I am sacrifice, offering to the ancestors, healing herbs, transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and offering. So everything we used in yajna comes from Krishna. Then he's explaining they are our family member. Pitamahasya Jagato Mata Dhata Pitamaha Vedam Pavitram Omkara Rika Sham Ajurveda Levacha. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also Rig, Sham, and Yajurveda. Krishna is saying everything comes from me. So that way Krishna Prabhupada is explaining that since Krishna is saying, I am the father and I am the mother, so if we go back in our life, our father, mother, then our grandfather, then likewise, upside you go, where it started, go to the Brahma, Lord Brahma. Brahma doesn't had a biological father, mother. Brahma directly came out of navel of Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is expansion of Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu comes from Shankarshan, and Shankarshan comes from Krishna. Okay? Original father. So what is, we have father, mother, so many important. So they all are coming from Krishna because everyone comes from Krishna. And under the modes of material nature, they are acting different ways. But originally, everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. That's what Prabhupada is trying to explain to us. And all the Vedas, Krishna is saying, I am the Vedas. I am the Rig, Sam, Yajur. So people nowadays say, oh, I want to study Vedas. And in Vedas, there are different things given. But then what is the main purpose? Krishna gave the Vedas. So originally we should try to learn from the Vedas. What we should try to learn. So the main thing is when Veda takes us towards the Krishna. The Vedas, studying Vedas will not take you to Krishna, then it's not good. It will not help. So Omkara Pranama is also Krishna, because Krishna is saying here, Vedam Pavitram Omkara. I am the Omkar. So every sloka, Vedic mantra start with Om, Praman. It's called Pranama, transcendental sound vibration, and that is also Krishna. And the Veda itself is Krishna. So let's see what else Krishna is going to explain. 9:18 is to read. Kamini Mataji, you want to read 9:18?
Okay. गतिर्भर्ता प्रभु साक्षी निवासः शरणं श्रुतः प्रभवः प्रलयः स्थानं निधानं बीजमव्ययम्. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the rising place and the eternal sea. Gati means the destination where we want to go, but the ultimate goal is Krishna. Although people do not know it, one who does not know Krishna is misled, and his so-called progressive march is either partial or hallucinatory. This There are many who make as their destination different demigods, and the rigid performance of the strict respective method, they reach different planet known as Chandraloka, Suryaloka, Indraloka, Maharloka, etc. But all such lokas or planets being creation of Krishna are simultaneously Krishna and not Krishna. Such planets, such planets being manifestation of Krishna's energy are also Krishna, but actually they serve only as the step forward for the realization of Krishna. To approach the different energies of Krishna is the approach Krishna indirectly. One should one should directly approach Krishna, for that will serve time and energy. For example, if there is a possibility of going to the top of the building by the help of of an elevator, why should one go the staircases step by step? Everything is resting on Krishna energy. Therefore, without Krishna's shelter, nothing can exist. Krishna is the supreme ruler because everything belongs to him and everything exists in his energy. Krishna, being situated in everyone's heart, is the supreme witness. The residences, countries, or planets on which we live are also Krishna. The Krishna is the ultimate goal of shelter, and therefore one should take shelter of Krishna either for protection or for annihilation of his distress. And whatever we have to take protection, we should know that our protection must be in a living force. Krishna is the supreme living entity, and since Krishna is the source of our generation or the supreme father, no one can be better friend than Krishna, nor can anyone be better well wisher. Krishna is the original source of creation and the ultimate rest after annihilation. Krishna is therefore the eternal cause of all causes. Should I read more?
Yes,
Should I?
Mataji.
Okay.
Yes.
Tapamyaham varsha nigrumya srujami cha amrutam chaiva mrityuscha sahasyaschadam arjuna. O Arjuna, I I give heat and I withhold the and send forth the rain. I am immortality, and I am also death personified. Both spirits and matter are in me. Krishna, by his different energies, diffuses heat and light through through the agency of the electricity and the sun. During the summer season, it is Krishna who checks rain from falling from the sky, and then during the rainy season, he gives unceasing torrent of rain, the energy which sustains us by prolonging the duration of our life is Krishna. And the Krishna meets us at, at the end of as a death by analyzing all these different energies of Krishna. One can ascertain that for Krishna there is no distinction between matter and spirit, or in other words, he is both matter and spirit. In the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, one therefore make no such distinction. He sees only Krishna in everything. Since Krishna is both matter and spirit, the gigantic and universal form comprising all material manifestation is also Krishna, and his pastime in Vrindavan as two-handed Syama Sundara playing on the flute are those of Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Hare Krishna.
Trivida.
No, you can stop it, Madhuri, here. So
Thank
Krishna is explaining Gati Prata Prabhu Sachi Nivasam Saranam Surut Prabhava Pralayam Sthanam Nidhanam Bijamapyam. That anything we want to do in life, we have a goal. Then we have sustainer, and then we have a master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, the most dear friend, and the creation and annihilation, basis of everything, resting place and eternal seat. Bijam Abhyayam. And then Krishna is saying, I am the give heat, I withhold and send forth the rain. I am in mortality and also death personified. Both his spirit and matter are in me. So Krishna is explaining how he is all pervasive. So since Krishna is both matter and spirit, the Jinjating universal form comprise all material manifestation. He is also Krishna and his pastime in Vrindavan as two-handed Shyamashundar playing on a flute are those of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So ultimately that two-handed form of Krishna, Shyamashundar, holding the flute, is the source of everything. That's what Krishna is saying. Let's read the next one, 20. Anju Mataji, Anju.
Yes, Prabhu. Trivriddha mam sompa utpapa yajiridrita swargatim prarthiyante te punya mas tadha tundra lokam mashranti divya nadavi de bhogan. Translation. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planet, worship me indirectly purified or sinful reactions. They take birth on the Paus, heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delight. Purpose. The word Vidya refer to the three Vedas, Sama, Yajur and Rag. A Brahmana who has studied these three Vedas is called a Trivedi. Anyone who is very much attached to knowledge derived from these three Vedas is respected in society. Unfortunately, there are many great scholars of the Vedas who do not know the ultimate purport of studying them. Therefore, Krishna herein declares himself to be the ultimate goal for the three Vedas. Actual three Vedas take shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna and engage in pure devotional service to satisfy the Lord. Devotional service begin with the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra and side by side trying to understand Krishna in truth. Unfortunately, those who are simply official students of the Vedas become more interested in offering sacrifice to the different demigods like Indra and Kandra. By such individuals, the worshippers of different demigods are certainly purified of the contamination of the lower qualities of nature and are thereby elevated to the higher planetary system or heavenly planet known as Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, etc. Once situated on those higher planetary systems, one can satisfy his sense hundreds of thousands of times better than on this planet.
You can read this one. You can read this one also, Mataji.
Okay.
Setam
स्वर्ग लोकम विशाल में क्षिणे पुण्य मृतम लोकम विशंति एवं तद्धि धर्म मनु प्रपत्रा गत्या गतायाम काम कामा लाभन्ते. Translation. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the result of their pause activities are exerted, they return to this moral planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principle of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. Purpose. One who is promoted to the higher planetary system enjoy a longer duration of life and better facility for sense enjoyment. Yet one is not allowed to stay there forever. One is again sent back to this earth upon finishing the resultant fruits or pauses activity. He who has not attained perfection of knowledge as indicated in the Vedanta Sutra, or in the other words, he who failed to understand Krishna, the cause of all causes, because baffled about achieving the ultimate goal of life and is thus subjected to the routine of being promoted to the higher planet and then again coming down, as if situated on a Ferris wheel, which something goes up and sometimes come down. The purport is that instead of being elevated to the spiritual world, from which there is no longer any possibility of coming down, one simply was in the cycle of birth and death on higher and lower planetary system. One should better take to the spiritual world to enjoy an eternal life full of bliss and knowledge and never return to the material existence.
Okay, you can read this one also, and then we'll discuss.
Okay,
22.
bro. Okay. अनन्यास चितन्य तो मम ये जहाँ प्रश्पाशते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहान्यम्. Translation. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transitional form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have purport. One who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day, being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other service, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of the spiritual spontaneous, which make the devotees perfect in the self-realization, so that his only desire is to be achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulties. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never come back to this material condition of life. Krishna offered to the merciful protection of the Lord helpful the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga. And when he become fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from the falling down to miserable condition life. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So the first class, what Krishna is explaining, that people who study Vedas or drink somaras go to heavenly planet and worshipping Krishna indirectly. And what happens? They take birth in pious families and the heavenly planet of Indra. So they go to Swarga. People say Swargalok, right? They went to Swarga. So what happens there? What's the problem there? Te tam bhuktva sargalokam visalam chine punye mratyalokam visanti. Evam trayi dharma manopumanna namu prapanna gata gatam kama kama lavante. When they enjoy that life, at some point that balance is over. So then when it is exhausted, their pious activities, their punya exhausted, they have to fall back again here on the mortal planet. And thus those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to principle of three Vedas, what they are doing, repeated birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. It's like a wheel. Birth, death, just rotating, right? However, on the other sense, the people who worship Krishna, what happens? Krishna previously told, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. Remember that sloka? Sloka number 14. To go back. 14th Krishna says, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yentasya cha Dranavrata Namasyasya cha Mam Bhaktya Nitya Yukta Upasate. That's what Krishna started. This is what his devotees do. So in this sloka 22, again it's coming. Ananya chintayanto mam ye jana parupasate tesa nitya vyuktanam yogakshemam bhamyam. Krishna is saying, but those who worship me, always worship me with exclusive devotion. Exclusive devotion. It's not like they have devotion to everything. No, only Krishna. That's what Krishna is saying. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Exclusive devotion. Ye jana paripasate. Meditating on my transcendental form. To them, I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Satatam kirtayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesa nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. So what Krishna does to those people? Krishna saying that I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Right? Such a nice thing that if we are Krishna conscious, we are trying to please Krishna. We chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Krishna is saying that I'll supply what you lack. I carry what they lack, Krishna is saying. And I preserve, means I protect what they have. So what you have will not get lost, and you will get what you don't have. You will get what we don't have. So such a nice thing. However, people who worship demigods or devatas, when they will go to higher planetary system, but when the pious punya balance is over, they fall back, which means they have to work again. But in Krishna Bhakti is very nice. See what Krishna is saying. Ananya chintayanto mam ye jana parupasate tesa nitya bhuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. Krishna is saying that who worship always with me, with devotion, in exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form. So this chanting Hare Krishna is meditation. You are saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You are meditating on Krishna's name, which is different, non-different than his form. Because when you think of a name, you think of a form, right? When you go to temple, you take darshan of deities of Krishna. Krishna is personally there. So you're thinking of meditating on Krishna's form. So what it does, Krishna says, I supply what you don't have and I preserve what you lack. Sorry, what I'll supply what you lack and preserve what you have. So everything is protected. There is no loss, right? So this text 23 I am going to read. ये आप्यनन्य देवता भक्त्या यजन्ते श्रद्धान्विता ते अपि मां चाको एव कौन्तेय यजन्ते अविधिपूर्वकम्. Those who are the deity of other gods, which is devatas, and worship them with faith, actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in wrong way. So people can say, oh, what is wrong with worshipping devatas? Different devatas. Krishna is saying, no, nothing wrong. Actually, you are worshipping Krishna only, but indirectly. But that is wrong way. That's not a right way. Purport. Persons who are engaged in worship of demigods are not very intelligent, and although such worship is offered to me indirectly, Krishna says. So Krishna is saying the people who worship devatas are fools. They are not very intelligent. For example, when a man pours water on the leaves and branches of the tree without pouring water on a root, he does so without sufficient knowledge or without observing regulative principle. So it's like you're pouring water on the leaves, on the branches, but not on the root. But you are pouring water, that's correct. But that's not done in the right way. That's the difference. So what will happen? You supply water to leaves, branches, the tree will die because you're not giving a right place, which is root. Other example, similarly, the process of rendering service to different part of the body is to supply food to stomach. So, for example, like we eat food, you can have supply food ear, nose, eyes, hands, legs, but not mouth. Don't put in mouth. Then you'll get sick. Your body will not get energy. So best process is to supply food to mouth, which will carry food to your stomach, and from stomach the food will get distributed throughout the body. That's the best process. But somebody can say, no, no, I want to supply food to my nose, my eyes, then my ears, but not mouth. Then you can supply, but then the results will be there, right? So demigods are, so to speak, different officer and director in the government of Supreme Lord. One has to follow the laws made by the government, not by the officer and directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer his worship to Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy different officers and directors of the Lord. The officer and directors are engaged as representative of government, and to offer such bribes to officer and directors is illegal. This is stated here as avidhipurvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of demigod. So Prabhupada explaining here, just like you have a government, and then there are different departments. You have local government, local officers, the clerk and local different department officers. They are getting salary from government, right? Where salary of these officers, directors come from your taxes. You pay taxes to government, and government maintains these department by paying salary to these officers. So these officers and directors are not supposed to ask for any money from anyone for anything, right? Because they're not supposed to ask any money. But now people give bribe. There is corruption. They ask money, people supply money to get things faster. But that is illegal. That's called corruption. It is not legally allowed. So when they are caught, either officer or person who is giving bribe, then they go into jail. So in our system, people hide bribing. They will not, government will not come to know who is taking bribes. And in fact, even government is corrupt. So government itself is taking money illegally, right? But in the government of Krishna, you cannot fool Krishna. Krishna is sitting in your heart as a Paramatma, as a super soul. And everyone's heart as a super soul. So if you do anything like this, like you give bribe or do corruption, Krishna knows. So you cannot hide from Krishna. Krishna is watching, right? He is Anumanta and Anitrishta. He is witness and sanctioner. So he is watching. You try to satisfy these demigods, these devatas, but devatas has a limited power. They can say, okay, it's okay, but ultimately these devatas cannot take money. The money has to go to Krishna. So then anything you do to devatas, indirectly you are working or you are worshipping for Krishna, but that's avidhipurvakam, not a right way of doing things, right? So that is the difference. Okay. Text 24. Who wants to read this one? 24.
Should I read?
Yes, Madhava.
अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्तां च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानान्ति तत्त्वेनाशश्च वन्ति ते. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Purpose. It is clearly stated that there are many types of yajna performances recommended in the Vedic literature, but actually all of them are meant for satisfying the Supreme Lord. Yajna means Vishnu, and in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that one should only work for satisfying Yajna or Vishnu, the perfectional form of human civilization known as Varnashrama Dharma is specifically meant for the satisfying Vishnu. Therefore, Krishna says in this verse, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices because I am the supreme master. Less intelligent person, however, without knowing this fact, worship demigod for temporary benefits. Therefore, they all down to the material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired results. यन्ति देववता तथा देवान् पितुर्यान्ति पितृव्रतः भूतानि यान्ति बुद्धिज्या यान्ति मद्या जिनो अपि माम्. Those who worship the demigod will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestor go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings, and those who worship me will be with me. Purport. If one has any desire to go to the moon, the sun, or the other planet, one can attain the desired destination by following specific Vedic principles recommended for the purpose, such as the process technically known as Darsha Purnamashi. Darsha Purnamashi. These, these are vividly described in the figurative activities portion of the Vedas, which recommended a specific worship of demigods situated on the different heavenly planets. Similarly, one can attain the Pitta planets by performing the specific yajna. Similarly, one can go to many ghostly planets and become Yaksha, Rakshasa, or Pishach. Pishach worship is called black arts and black magic. There are many men who practice this black art and think that is spiritualism, but such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, the pure devotee who worships the supreme personality of Godhead only achieves the planet of Vaikuntha and Krishna Loka without a doubt. It is very easy to understand through this important verse that if by simply worshipping the demigods one can achieve the heavenly planets, or by worshipping the Pitas, purchasing the Pitas planet, by or practicing the black art, achieving the ghostly planet, why can the pure devotee not achieve the planet of Krishna or Vishnu? Unfortunately, many people who have an information of these sublime planets where Krishna and Vishnu lives, and because they do not know of them, they fall down. Even the impersonalities fall down from the Brahma Jyoti. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society to the effect that by simply chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can become perfect in the life and go back home, back to Godhead. Should I read more? Should I read more? 26?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
26. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktayu pravritam shrami prayatmanah. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. For the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord in order to achieve the permanent blissful abode for internal happiness. The process of achieving such a marvelous result is very easy and can be attempted even by the poorest of the poor without any kind of qualification. The only qualification required in this connection is to be pure devotee of Lord. It is no matter what one is or where one is situated. The process is so easy that even a leaf or a little water or a fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. No one, therefore, can be barred from Krishna consciousness because it is so easy and universal. Who is such who is such a fool that he does not want to be Krishna conscious by his simple method and thus attain the highest perfection of life, eternity, bliss and knowledge? Krishna wants only loving service and nothing more. Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non devotee. He is not in need of anything from anyone because he is self sufficient, and yet he accepts the offering of the devotee in an exchange of love and affection. To develop Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection of life. Bhakti is the mentioned twice in the verse in the order to declare the more emphatically that bhakti or devotional service is the only means to approach the Krishna. No other condition such as becoming Brahmana, a learned scholar, a very rich man, or a great philosopher can induce Krishna to accept some offering. Without the basic principle of bhakti, nothing can be induced in the Lord into agree to accept anything from anyone. Bhakti is never casual. The process is eternal. It is direct action in service of the absolute whole. Here, Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer the premier, primeval Lord, primeval Lord, and the real object of all sacrifice offering, reveal what type of sacrifices he desired to be offered. If one wishes to engage in devotional service to the Supreme in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then one should find out what the Lord desires of him. One who loves Krishna will give him whatever he wants, and he avoids offering anything which is undesirable or unasked. Thus, meat, fish, eggs should not be offered to Krishna. If he desired such things as offerings, he would have said so. Instead, he clearly requests that a leaf, fruit, flower, and the water be given to him. And he says of his offering, I will accept it. Therefore, we should understand that he will not accept meat, fish, eggs, vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water are the proper food for human beings and are prescribed by the Lord Krishna himself. Whatever else we eat cannot be offered to him, since he will not accept it. Thus, we cannot be acting on the level level of loving devotion if we offer such foods. In the third chapter, verse 13, Sri Krishna explains that only the remain of sacrifices are purified and fit for consumption of those who are seeking advancement in life and release from the clutches of the material enlightenment. Those who do not make an offering of their food, he says in the same verse, are eating only sin. In other words, their every mouthful is simply deepening their involvement in the complexities of material nature, but preparing nice, simple vegetable dishes, offering them before the picture of deity of Lord Krishna and bowing down and praying for him to accept the such a humble offering enables one to advance the steadily in life, to purify the body and to create fine brain issues which will be led to the clear thinking. Above all, the offering should be made with an attitude of love. Krishna has no need of food since he already possesses everything that be, yet he will accept the offering of one who desires to please him in that way. The important elements in preparation in serving and the offering is to act with love of Krishna. The impersonality philosopher who wish to maintain that the absolute truth is without senses cannot comprehend this verse of Bhagavad Gita. To them, it is either metaphor or proof of the mundane character of Krishna, the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita. But in actually Krishna, the Supreme Godhead has senses, and it is stated that his senses are interchangeable. In the other word, one sense can be performed the function of any other. This is what it means to say that Krishna is absolute, lacking senses. He could hardly be considered full in all opulence. In the seventh chapter, Krishna has explained that he im- impregnates the living entities into material nature. This is done by his looking upon the material nature. And so, in this instance, Krishna hearing hearing the devotees' words of love, of offering foodstuff, is wholly identical with his eating and actually tasting. The point should be emphasized because of his absolute position. His hearing is wholly identical with his eating and tasting. Only the devotee who accepts Krishna as he describes himself without interpretation can understand the supreme absolute truth, can eat food and enjoy it. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So, this sloka is very important for us, the devotees, that Krishna eats. People say, oh, God doesn't eat, but God eats. Patram puspam phalam toyam yo me bhakta prayakchiti tadaham bhaktyupahritam asnami prayatatmana. What it means, bhaktya upahritam asnami prayatatmana. So, from one in pure consciousness, offered in devotion, bhakti upahritam. So, Krishna needs just our love. And previously, Krishna explained that why we should not worship demigods, because then you'll go to their planets, and if you worship ghost and spirit, you go to their planet, become pichasas. But those who worship Krishna will go to Krishna. This is the proof. So people believe, oh, if you worship demigods, you'll go to the the Swargalok. But then they don't believe that if you worship Krishna by the same formula, if you worship Krishna, you go to Krishna Lok. So simple, right? So there is no confusion. And then Krishna is asking here how you worship Krishna, what you offer to Krishna. So offering is patram puspam phalam toyam yo me bhakta prayakshati tadaham bhakti upahritam asnami prayatatmana. So Krishna asks for only these things, so we offer only these things. We don't offer other things, right? Because if Krishna wanted anything else, he will ask, right? And Krishna can eat with any of his senses. His senses are absolute. He can eat by seeing. He can eat by hearing, right? That's what the Prabhupada is explaining here. So we'll stop here. Any questions, doubts? No? All good?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
we read about black magic.
Yes.
Really, it is existence.
Yes. It is there. Definitely. It's like if you have a dark, you have a light, right? Same place. So it is there. You cannot say it doesn't exist, but it will only work on those people who are in ignorance, because it is a ignorance energy, it's a dark energy. So it will work on people who are in dark life, people who are very dirty, they are very, not clean, not not, you can say, people who are atheistic, it can work on those because they don't believe in anything. So the black magic can work, but people who are Krishna conscious or who are in mode of goodness, clean, not very dirty, they don't eat meat, drink wine and all this, they offer food to Krishna and eat. On those people, black magic cannot work because it's the same way. Like if you are hygienic, you may not get corona, right? But if you are dirty, you're drinking, eating, and your immune system is bad, then you can get it. So there is a qualification on which the black magic will work. But people who are devotee of Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, offering food to Krishna, worshipping Krishna, black magic cannot work. And that's why they don't even try. These people who do black magic, they look for right candidate, the right person, because they know where it will work. So same way, but it is there, but not very very prominent, because to practice black magic, you have to do a lot of tapasya. You have to really please those the rakshasas or pitasas. Not easy. People cannot even control eating gutka or bidi, right? They have no control. So today is in India, I think is Nirjala Ekadasi. If you tell them fast one day without water, they cannot do it. So how can they cannot do black magic actually, because even to do black magic, it needs lot of energy. It's not easy. So it's becoming rare, very rare. But still, there are some people very very adamant, very very negative mindset. They do it, but we can be protected by chanting Hare Krishna. Whenever somebody feels or you see somebody is going through such situation, you can just ask them to chant Hare Krishna, and the black magic will go away. It will not work. Just even if it is they are affected, they chant Hare Krishna, it will go away, because pisachas will become devotee. There are stories in Chaitanya Charitamrita where these Bhakti Vinod Thakur, in a village. I'll tell you briefly, but you can read in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur was a magistrate in Puri in British government, and at that time in Bengal, the black magic was very prominent. So there was a tree, banyan tree, big banyan tree, and it was known that anybody sleeping under that tree in the night, next day the person will be haunted or captured by the ghost. That was known. So the news is spread everywhere, and it was creating problem. So he was a judge, he was a magistrate. So he was a devotee of Krishna. He was father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is the father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is guru of Srila Prabhupada. So that's how we know. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur, what he does, he went to that village under that tree and started reading Srimad Bhagavatam. He took Bhagavatam, started reading Bhagavatam throughout the day and night. And everybody was watching that what's going to happen. He will be killed. Actually, there is a movie, if you search on YouTube, Bhakti Vinod Thakur life, you will see this story. It's visually made, how that works. So everybody was watching, the villagers were watching that now today he will be killed, because this demon, this Rakshas, black, he will not allow him to survive. So in the night passed, morning came, and there was a huge sound in the tree cracked, and the demon went away. He got liberation. He went away, he left the place and went. And that's how people realize that Bhagavatam, Krishna Bhakti is very powerful. Nothing can work against it, because it's Krishna, right? So against Krishna, nobody can stand. So Bhagavatam is non-different than Krishna. Bhagavad Gita is non-different than Krishna. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is non-different than Krishna. So that's the recent one, just maybe 150 or 200 years ago. This is the documented story, So this is known. Nothing can work. The black remains black there.
Okay, Professor. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? No. Okay, so we'll end here. We'll meet next week, Saturday, same time. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Thank you so much for joining, and Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Vivat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Done.